Hi, welcome to Monday Minutes. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jessie, and we have a special guest again. Hello, Lisette.
Hi.
Lisette is joining us for Kohavember, where we talk all things Koha leading up to KohaCon in New Zealand. So this
Mm.
week, we thought we would talk all about Bugzilla, but a little more advanced. And we've asked Lisette to join us, one, to talk about one of the bugs that she recently commented on, and two, to talk a little bit about the baby DevSig in koha-US. So we'll kick things off here by jumping right back into our Bugzilla page. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the more advanced search features. Last week, we showed you how to search for a bug, and we talked about the layout and some of the things that we would see in there. You can also do a more advanced search where you can come in and search for specific things if you're looking for a specific component, like let's say circulation, or you just want to look for a status of need sign off because you're ready to get adventurous and try and sign something off that needs testing within the community. The advanced search is a great way to do that because you can bring all of that information back. Now, we pulled up an example of a recent bug that was filed. This is bug 8137, uh, checkout limit for all libraries. And we asked Lisette to talk a little bit about the comment that she made on October 29th.
Yeah, so this bug had a patch assigned, and someone had commented that the way that the test plan was written was that it was not going to work for their library. And just to add some more context to that, I talked about this was something I copied myself on when I worked at a library that we were interested in as a consortia that I just put down like, okay, here's like what I would expect from these rules. Here's what currently happens. Here's what I would expect to happen with the patch for this bug. Um, just to make sure that sometimes as developers, we don't always know the whole workflow people are thinking of.
Yep.
And so it's always really helpful when someone comments to clarify, to say like, this is what I would expect, um, or this is what I would want, because that helps give us guidance on like, oh, we want to make sure that we like don't lose this step or option or whatever, because we don't see it a lot, but it actually turns out it's really important to a lot of people. Or we want to make sure it works this way. This is also like I mentioned the way that I would expect it for the current or for like when partners ask us about this bug.
Mhm. That's great. And so that's why it's really helpful for developers to see frontline staff how they're using a particular feature or their workflow so they can understand how they're developing it. If if you feel it's important for you to make a comment, by clicking that add comment button, once you create your account, like we showed you last week, you can come in here and just like Lizette, write feedback of how you're currently using it or how it works at your library. And that truly helps the developers, like Nick and Lizette, see how things are working. So, Nick, talk to us a little bit about this from the development side and other useful tools that the Koha community have to help look at things that need sign off.
Yeah. So, I mean, this really, does highlight that Bugzilla isn't just for the developers. We really need that library perspective. And librarians should really be involved because that's how they make sure that what's coming in Koha works for their workflows. We do our best to guess workflows and we know all the ones we've seen. But it turns out that libraries do things in wildly interesting and different ways. And so we really encourage them to come and comment and tell us things. So if you're a librarian, you kind of want to look around at some of these things. One of the places you can start is at the dashboard for Bugzilla. So what this does is it kind of, while you can do all those searches in Bugzilla, this is going to present you with some really pre-made searches and kind of overviews of the project. So if we go down to the to-do right there, we can see we have a couple lists there. We have needs triage, needs patches, needs sign off. The need sign off is really the one where we want people to come and test and look at things like this. These are things that have been written, they're ready to test, so they're also good places to come and comment because it's something that's actively moving. You have two buttons there. 284, that's the count of all of the need sign off bugs in the community. And then the 84 is just the bugs. So if we click on that one, it'll take us over to a list of bugs in Bugzilla where we can see all the things that are ready for sign off. And so any one of these is a great place to come and comment or just read and see what's kind of happening. If you're experiencing a bug, this is a good place to come and see them as well and see if you can find it already filed in the community. And if you've come here and you found something and you're ready to go ahead and sign it off, we've got some ways in the community that try to make it easy to do this. So we have a bunch of sandboxes out there, and we have other videos that talk about those, and we can dive in a little deeper. But for right now, if you come here to the Koha Wiki, search for sandboxes, you can find a list of sandboxes where you can go and test, and essentially you'll spin up a Koha with a bug patch applied and be able to run through and test it in a live Koha system.
Fabulous. Now, if you're just stepping into things and or you just want to learn a little bit more about what options are out there, Lisette is the chair of a wonderful special interest group through koha-US. Lisette, tell us about Baby Devs.
Yeah, so baby devs, we've been doing it for about a year and a half almost now. And it really started at Round Rock koha-US in 2024. Um, and what we do is we work on testing bugs together and also like discussions about how to do certain development things. Right now, we're really focusing on like documentation for all of this, both for like getting started with Koha testing Docker, which is the it's what the developers use when we're developing because it's got some tools to help, and it's also like when I'm signing off in QA, and that's what I use. But it also lets you do a little bit more than the sandboxes. There's some stuff that's sometimes you have to like run a script to make something happen to get the test plan working, and you can't do that in the sandboxes, but you can in Koha testing Docker. So we always kind of start with like, does anyone need help with their KTD? When I send out my email reminder, I'm always like, spin it up before the meeting. So if you have questions, we can help you troubleshoot. And we'll go through and like sign off bugs, usually on KTD, but sometimes we'll use the sandboxes too. Like if someone wants to do it who doesn't have their KTD up at all and hasn't had time like to set it up before the meeting and things like that. And everyone's welcome if they're interested in signing off or developing or anything. We just want to help people feel more comfortable with that.
That's so great. And I think that was a perfect ending to in all aspects of Koha. If you ever have a question or you ever need to talk to somebody, you can jump on Slack, you can jump on Mattermost, which is the community chat platform for Koha. You can send an email or reach out to any of us. Nick, Lizette, and I are doing a presentation at KohaCon this year, and it's really all about like the education and development process and like making sure that release notes and documentation are easily digestible for users to understand and learn as those new releases come out. So we're very excited to keep that learning process going. Thank you, Lizette, for joining us today.
Yeah, and I'm also presenting about baby devs at KohaCon with one of our partners, Jason Rob from Seckles, about kind of what we've done and where we're going. And we're going to have some like examples of the kinds of things we've signed off on or failed QA on, because that happens too. So if you want to learn more about baby devs, you can watch that.
Awesome. All right. Happy Kohavember. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.